Hey there, Michael Griffiths here, founder of Referral Marketing Guru, and welcome to this week's Get More Referrals Today podcast. Today, I want to talk about why does someone actually really pass a referral? Because there's lots of theories, there's lots of myths, and there's lots of people's opinions. But when I actually think about it from both a brain chemical perspective, a neuroscience perspective, limbic feeling brain versus cortex logical brain, it actually makes a lot of sense to why someone actually passes a referral. So I want to dive into that because I think once you understand it and you can remove your own ego. See, so many times people think that referrals are passed and it's just so ego driven. It's like all about them. It's like, it's got nothing to do with you. I know you want it to, and I know that you want it to have something to do with how good your business is or how good your product or service is. But the simple fact is, it's not. And when you start to actually understand the other person's thinking, well, then you can actually start doing things to make sure that you bring in more and more and more and more referrals. So let's dive into it. But before we do, as always, if this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. So great to have you with us. Make sure you hit that subscribe, follow, connect, whatever button it is on your favorite podcast platform. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss videos that come out helping your business to be able to grow through referrals, through partnerships, through your networks, and through evoking brain chemicals throughout your business. See, it really is quite a unique, distinct way to be able to run a business through this limbic system, where everything you do from top to bottom, you start thinking about what brain chemical, what emotion is that actually going to create in the other person. Because as I say every single day, we just shoot ourselves in the foot time and time and time and time again because we do something without actually going, what emotion is it likely to create in the other person? And why is that important? Well, if someone doesn't feel great about you or your business, then they're definitely not going to be a walking, talking, ranting, raving billboard that we want them to be. So it becomes vital that you can limbic your business from top to bottom. But let's dive into where we want to go today. And today is all about what actually makes someone refer. And to be able to get to that answer, let's start with things that I suppose are out there. Because most people, if I go, why does someone refer to you? And I was having a talk to someone yesterday, and they're both a wholesale trade distributor business, so B2B, and they're also a retail business, so B2C. And they're like, well, we've got the best product out there. No one else's product comes anywhere near us. So, of course, they're going to refer. Yeah, no, that doesn't matter. You can have the best product. And, in fact, they probably expect you to have the best product. But that's not enough for someone to be able to refer. And then I'll hear people go, well, we're the best. We provide the best service. We provide the best customer experience. We go above and beyond for our clients. That's why they'll refer. So, no. Yes, they will refer because of those things, but it's actually not those things for why they're referring. So if it's not about what you offer or how good it is or how you offer it, then what actually is it? Because those things are important. But to me, they're just like, they should be a given. You should be providing an unbelievable service. You should be trying to be the best out there in the marketplace. Hey, you should be providing a customer experience better than everyone else. Like, they're just things that they should. It's not feather in the cap. That's why they're going to refer. They just should happen. But when we think about those things, what does it actually make the other person feel? And here is step one. If the other person doesn't feel, and it's exactly that, it's a feel. You can't do anything else. Right? You can't just drop this into them. If they don't feel a level of bond and a level of happiness about you, then they can't get onto step two. So that has to be the starting point. So many people are like, well, we just provide the best service possible, so that's why they refer. No, that gets you step one. That gets you probably closeness in bond, and it makes them happy. So that allows step one to happen. But there's still more steps that have to happen. Okay, so the first thing you've got to think about is your relationship with either your prospect, with your networks, with your strategic partners, with your clients, depending on who the person is that you're trying to get to refer for you. If there's not a level of bond and a level of trust and a level of happiness, nothing else can happen. So that has to be step one. If you picture a triangle, and at the bottom of the triangle, the base of the triangle, step one has to be trust, bond, and happiness about you. Now we've got this base of the triangle. Now we've got the foundation to get someone to be able to refer. So straight away, I want you to think, how am I going about making sure that I create? I think bond has to come first. Bond creates trust. Right? When you create a bond with someone, you naturally have to create more trust with that person. If they're getting something that they are happy about, such as people who go, hey, we just provide a great service, that's why they refer. No, they're happy about the service, which makes them happy about you. In the end, the service doesn't matter. It's whether they're happy with you or not. The service just is, or the product just is the other thing. So then we come into step two, and they don't refer because of your business. This is a shock to most people. It's got nothing to do with your business. It has everything to do with, will they look good to the person that they are talking to about you? Everyone has a survival brain, and our survival brain is all about exactly that. How do I survive? Well, I want to be part of tribes. I want to be part of communities. I want other people to like me. So therefore, when we talk about something, positive or negative, to somebody else, we're not doing it so much for that other business. We're doing it because our survival brain says this will help us fit in with the tribe. This will help us survive. It will help us belong. Now, when you're thinking, we're getting quite deep here in terms of just simple neuroscience. But when you think about that, that becomes really important, because I see so many people who just expect referrals to happen and people to talk about them. But if you start thinking, okay, hold on, either my strategic partner or my client or my wider network or even my prospect who hasn't even bought from me yet but still might refer, firstly, there's got to be a level of bond, trust, and happiness with us, closeness. Secondly, there has to be, I am willing to talk about you because it's going to help me. It's going to make me look good. It's going to make me feel good. It's going to make me belong to whoever I am talking to. Now, I'm someone who goes, and I'm a huge believer on this, you don't need rewards, you don't need commissions, you don't need payments, but you do need to think about this step two. Now, sometimes people will just talk simply because of the experience that they've had with you, because you've taken that level of trust, bond, closeness to a completely different level. So, of course, they're going to talk about you. And that's how a lot of referrals take place. But they're not doing it because of you. I think that's the important thing you've got to understand. They're not doing it because you have a great service. They're not doing it because you're willing to give them $100. They're not doing it because they get a chance to go in the draw for a holiday. They're not doing it because insert whatever incentive you have. They are doing it for their own survival. And now I know that sounds silly because it's like, what am I surviving from? But that's how our survival brain works. It doesn't know any different. It's a 2 million year old brain who still thinks saber-toothed tigers are around every corner and we might get eaten. So it naturally and always instinctively does things to help the person survive. So if someone says, and I can just think of, let me just think of a couple of experiences over the last 24 hours. Okay. So I could go in and I could say a couple of negative experiences that I had yesterday in various venues. Okay? A cafe, shopping center, and a hardware store that I walked into. Well, the only reason why I would say that to anyone else in my circle that I came across isn't to tell them, because they're probably not ever going to go there. It's to simply fit in. My survival brain goes, oh, we're part of the tribe, we're part of the community. I'm going to let you know about this. And it's exactly the same when we have great experiences too. We found this little authentic Lebanese restaurant in pretty much the middle of nowhere. Like, it's the only shop on this main street. And we looked it up online, and there it was. So we went, oh, let's go there. It was absolutely amazing. Now, I don't know the owner. I don't know any of the staff. The only reason why I would tell anybody else is simply for my own benefit. Because when I tell, let's just say, I tell Tim and say, hey, Tim, we just went to this amazing Lebanese restaurant. Like the meat board, unbelievable. You'd absolutely love it. When I think about why am I telling Tim that, it's not to help the business. It's because Tim's a friend, and our trust bond closeness gets improved by me sharing that with him. Now, that's how we think. That's how we operate. So if you can grasp that concept, all of a sudden, probably some of the things that you're doing right now to get referrals, you're probably palming yourself in the forehead going, oh, no wonder that's not working. Because you're not actually understanding why people do it. And it has to start with that step one. Like, if you can increase the bond, closeness, dopamine between you and the other person, then step two becomes so much easier in terms of them wanting to talk about you. But don't think that they're talking about you to help you. They're talking about you and your business and your service or your product simply because it helps them. It's part of our survival instincts to fit in, to belong, to share, to communicate. And that's why people talk to other people. So when you sometimes go, hey, how about I give you $50 off and you give this card to someone who gets $50 off too, as if that's the reason why they'll do it. That might help. And there are some people who will do that. They probably won't stay long-term customers or clients simply because if that's what they're driven by, as soon as someone else does that, they've left you. That might help. It gives them a reason to be able to talk, but it's not the reason why they'll do it. So let's give that as an example. Let's say you have a service where accounting service. You go, well, I'll give you $500 off your tax return. And someone else can have $500 off their tax return by you giving them this card. So you'll go to a friend, a colleague, someone you already have a great relationship with, and you'll go, hey, don't know if you're interested. I've got this card for $500 off. Would you like to give them a go? They're offering that, again, from a survival tribe mentality point of view, not to help you. And that's so important to grasp and understand. So when we can get that, all of a sudden now, as I said, some of your referral campaigns are probably going to be really different. And hopefully the way you think about referrals becomes really different also. Hopefully that's been super helpful. As always, leave us a comment. Reach out, support@michaelgriffiths.com.au. If you need help growing your business through referrals, just simply get in touch and we'll speak to you.